If you have any questions during the session, drop them on the channel. That's the UI UX room. That you can drop them right while the class is going on, so that you can, in case you would forget the question by the end of the class, just keep writing your questions, and we'll get to answer them. The moderators are also, some of them are designers as well, so they can tend to your question directly. It doesn't have to be me all the time. Then after the class, I would obviously go through the chats and answer your questions. So, yep. So last class, we talked about um, UI design. We covered, I think, over 50 plus slides, and we did that really fast. I had to be fast study for technical reasons. And you would find the video on YouTube. You can always go back and rewatch. I wanted to just give you as much information as I could about UI design. It is not everything, it is not exhaustive. But that's what we'll be doing justice to today, would be practicalizing some of the things we talked about in the last class and seeing how these things work in practice. Because as much as it's good to understand the theory, things will only stick and would only make more sense when we actually get to practice them. So, but before we go into Figma, I want to talk about something that I believe will be very, very instrumental, especially for people who have zero knowledge about design, or who are new to who is new. If you are new to tech generally, or you are new to UI UX design, you're just starting. You don't have any prior knowledge. Even if you do, I believe this is very foundational and would help you to start your career on a good footing. Because there is something that happens in tech. People start and roam around for years, trying out tools, trying out different skills, jumping from UI UX to co-programming, front end, back end, marketing. You just see people keep jumping. What can you do? You hear them say that they are marketers, they are so and so enthusiasts, they are this enthusiasts, but none of them actually have those skills. They hone the skill to a level where they are employable, or people who are willing to give work to them to complete or to work on. It's a big problem, and because of the world we live in today, there's a lot of distraction. It's very hard to focus. It's very hard to double down on something and continue until you get results. We all want to see things really fast. We want to put in the effort 2 days, 3 days, and start seeing results. We want to G with the big boys, and it's a big problem. And because of the world we live in today, there's a lot of distraction. It's very hard to focus. It's very hard to double down on something and continue until you get results. We all want to see things really fast. We want to put financially. In fact, beyond tech, there's money in every space. And with the internet, we have multiple ways of making money. We are going to focusing on design today, of course. So, but for you to reach that level where you are proficient enough, you have enough knowledge and expertise to move to the next stage, away from the learning stage to the earning stage, there is lots of work. There's lots of hard work. There's lots of sacrifice. And there's something I believe in, especially when you're learning something, either you're learning newly, or no matter your level in whatever you are, career, your space you are, for you to grow, you have to constantly learn. Either you have attained mastery or you are just starting. And there's no other way to compound your learning than to learn daily. Daily learning is the best way to compound, to get the best from compounding effect. Compounding effect is basically how little things come together to add up in over a period of time. So do something today, do something tomorrow, do something next week, do something next month. Over the span of a year, how does this all the things you've done, your activities combine? How do they compound to give you how does it shaping your life, your career, and whatever you're doing over a period of time. So do something today, do something tomorrow, do something next week. So you want to learn UI UX design, right? So you start by practicing daily. Commit, even if you're working already, you have a 9 to 5 job, you're a student, even if it's 1 hour of your time daily, it's worth it. sacrifice that 1 hour of your time to learn, to consume content, and practice. Emphasis on practice. It's one thing to watch somebody do something, it's another thing to actually do it yourself. You can watch shit ton of tutorials on YouTube or even consume courses on Coursera or any of those learning platforms, Udacity. You can even pay thousands of naira or the dollars for courses. But it will be futile if you don't practice. And you would see that happen when you eventually, after consuming a lot of materials, a lot of content, and you want to get down to do this stuff. And it's difficult for you to do it because you've just been consuming content. It's different from practice. One of the philosophy I live by is while learning, you practice. While learning, you share, you teach. So, for example, you learned how colors work, or you are trying to learn how to use Figma. You open the video. As you are watching the video, you open Figma on the other side. Maybe you're using your system to watch the video, or you can even use your phone to watch the video while you open Figma on your laptop. And if they press here, you go there and press it and see how it works. If they press any button, if they used any command in the video, you use that command and see how it works. There's a way it works at in the brain where it helps you make those neural connections, and unconsciously you won't need to think about, okay, well, how do I use this to, where is this thing? It becomes second nature to you because you've practiced it. For you to get the most from this program, to learn, to practice daily. Daily practice. Same way we go for exams, for lectures daily, for people in universities. If you're not in university, secondary school, the way you go for classes daily. We have those education systems structured on a daily basis for a reason, because when you practice something daily over a long period of time, it's actually, you get the most compounding effect. You see the most results. And speaking of results, do not expect that at the end of 3 months or 5 months. 5 months is fair, but let's say at the end of a month or two of learning design, that you would reach mastery level to take on complex problems and solve them. If you can do that, it will be amazing. But do not yourself up if after 2 3 months, 4 months, you've not reached a level of competence that is equal to others. Because one, whoever you'll be gauging yourself with, because we all do that, we all compare ourselves, will most likely have spent longer time in the industry and spent longer time practicing, and would most likely have had perhaps even better exposure and knowledge than you do. What matters is that you are learning daily and you are practicing. So I mentioned something earlier alongside with practicing. I said as you're learning and practicing, you also need to share. By sharing, you need to teach others. It solidifies what you understand more than explaining it to someone else, more than helping someone else solve that problem or showing someone else how it's done. It helps you in more ways than it helps even the person itself, because you are repeating it, and repetition helps to solidify what you already know. I'm sure nobody here is a child, so we probably have had personal experience when something repeats itself over and over again, and over time we see that those things become second nature to us because it has been repeated multiple times. And when you teach, you are repeating what you already know. So by repeating it, it solidifies, and it also helps you to understand it in ways that you never considered before. I would tell you that I've learned more about design teaching you guys from different perspective from when I consume content and practice on my own. That's the beauty of practice. So how do you practice? How do you share with people? I would advise that everyone here decide what social media platform they are active on, that they would want to create content. So if you are active on Twitter, good and fine. If you're active on LinkedIn, perfect. WhatsApp, good. If you learned something today, I mentioned this from the beginning of the class, make sure you are taking notes. Make sure you are writing down something somewhere. Don't just listen because you think you would have recordings in I hope you all are here. Let me just keep track on the audience. Okay, we have 50 on the call. All right, perfect. Don't just wait that okay we are going to have recordings. I can always go back to YouTube. Most likely you will not even go back to that YouTube video. If you don't attend this session. If you think probably because the session is recorded that you would be able to go back next time to watch it, it would become hard work for you to go back and watch those videos. So as much as possible, you should be here. Beyond the answering, the ability to the option, the availability of others who know more than you to help you and guide you. You also get to learn on the spot, and the next time you'll be going into design, you'll be going to practice what you learned, not trying to consume previous videos. So pick a platform that you want to use, because most times people learn skills but nobody know that they have those skills. You can learn how some people learn how to code. It happens a lot. You know how to design, you know how to code, but even the rats in your house, as my mentor would say, do not know that you you have this skill. How do you expect to break into the space financially? How do you want to become what reach that level of expertise of money too? Because employers will only employ people that they know, and if they don't know you, they will not employ you. And that's why if you are filling forms for employment, for applying for a role, they'll ask you for your social media platform that you're active on. They also want to see your engagement and see how if you are actually active in the space or creating content or doing one thing or the other. It's very important. If, for example, you have 10,000 followers on Twitter and you've niched down your Twitter handle to create content about design, and you already have people who would listen to you and you talk about design, if just feeling in fact, sometimes you would get companies reaching out to you just to give you a role because you've established yourself as leader in the space already. Let me give an example. We have this person called Chris Doe. Chris Doe is a very popular figure in design space. If you are not exactly new to design, you must have heard of him. If you are new, you can search the word Chris Doe. You know what? Let me just do that right away. Chris Doe. This is Chris Doe. He started creating content on YouTube, I think 2016 or thereabout. And today he has a few 2 or 3 million subscribers. I'm not sure of the number right now on YouTube alone. And most of he has videos that have performed in terms of viewership in millions. And because of that, because of the content he creates and the quality of content, he has been doing design 20 years before he started creating content. But nobody knew he was very good at what he does. He worked for the best companies in the world. But he became a real leader in the space, especially in the design space, when he started creating content on YouTube. And that today, if you have opportunity to have Chris Doe in your event, it's a big deal. A big deal. And that have solidified him as a thought leader. He can single-handedly change the way we see design and the way we design because of the audience and the influence he has. That you want to be popular or not, it doesn't matter here. What matters is that I'm sure we all want to make money from this because it's going to take sweat, it's going to take time, it's going to take data. You'll be burning your data to learn, and you want to get return on your investment at the very least. That time you are using to oh, okay. So that time you are using to watch those videos, those sacrifices you are making, you want returns on your investment. And if you want returns on your investment, you have to do the things you need to do. So what do you need to do? You need to create content. Whatever you learn, take notes, convert it into teach people what you just learned. I mean teach people, it could be a simple post on Twitter that summarizes or hits a particular problem and provide, like, for example, I've been talking about how to start, right? Let me go back to the presentation slide. I'm currently still on how to start, and I'm also talking about into how to learn and practice. We'll go into learn and practice in a bit. I'm focused currently on how to start. And for example, create content after this class or maybe tomorrow, talking about how to start in design, talking about the fact that it's important to learn daily, talk about the fact that you can just put it into bits, into a thread. First thread, you can say, okay, learn design daily, learn UI UX design daily. Second thread, you can say, talk about creating content, teach people what you know. Third slide, take notes when you study online. I mentioned this in one of the classes, I think the second one. When you are watching YouTube videos, as if you are in a lecture hall, carry your biro and paper and take notes. If it says practical thing, like I said earlier, Figma, open your Figma, start doing that thing that they are doing in that video. You're doing it right there. Don't watch the video like it's movie. It's not a movie. If it's a movie, you watch your movie separately. This is learning. You are in school. And this is way things are in our generation today. We do not have the luxury, not luxury, because freedom of working and learning online. I see it as freedom. It's freedom in many folds. Have more ownership of your time, of your day, and everything you do. So that freedom comes at a cost because we are used to the traditional system of going to school and sitting down with our lecturers. It's difficult for us to commit to having that kind of routine in our homes, in our closet. And that is the only way to learn. You don't start learning how to do something new by lying down on your bed or pressing your phone on the side. You take it seriously, you create time for it, and treat it as if the way you would treat a bachelor's, an MBA degree that you are pursuing. It's serious business, and if you want to get results, you have to take it very seriously. So create content, pick a platform. LinkedIn is very good because LinkedIn is filled with professionals. People, you'll find the employers there. You'll find business executives there. Who knows? They might need a UI UX designer on their team. Maybe the person who was working for them just left, or one reason or the other, they might need your skill. When they see you are creating content, when they see what you're doing and the value you are providing to others, you you are providing your own resume already, and people would easily want to and speak with you and know more, and if possibly work with you to and pay you, of course, for it. I cannot speak so much on the on pricing design. We'll probably talk about that later on. You are providing your own resume already, and people would easily want to seriously as you're learning. Make sure you're practicing, make sure you are sharing it online. Let people know that you started learning design. It's not you and your bed that is learning this design. Let the world know, let your not just your close set, let the internet know that you started learning design. Whatever you learn, share it online, create an audience, and you would see how amazing things will go from there. So secondly, how to learn. So depending on your the way your brain works, and there is something called self-awareness, and I believe everyone should seek to get to a level where they are aware of themselves. They understand how their brain works, they understand what works for them, how their body behaves. If there are people that can work at night or people that can work in daytime, if there are people that can, basically you understand your body, you understand your mind, you understand your strengths, you understand your weaknesses. If you do not, you need to look out for those things. So if you are someone that is effective at night, then make sure you are resting in daytime. It won't be easy. I won't lie to you. I won't say I'm perfect in this. There are times where I have a very stressful day and I still end up staying late at night, and it takes its toll on me. Active at night, and you learn better at night. Try and sleep in daytime. If you're having problem with data subscription because you don't have money, subscribe ninth plan. Ninth plan is 15 naira. 15 naira if you're in Nigeria, it's 15 naira. 15 naira would get you 500 MB. 500 MB, I'm sure none of this video is up to 500 MB. If it's up to, you can get a lower version of it for that is around 480 pixel. It should be less than 500 MB or even 100 naira. Use it. It's an investment. See it as an investment. And that is why, because you are seeing it as an investment, you need to try to ensure you are getting returns on your investment. That is business. You invest to get returns on your investment. And you need to start thinking from the beginning, how do I get returns on my investment? How do I profit from money I am putting into this thing, this time? Your time is money. People do not see it that way, but your time is money. There's one of my mentors, not someone I've met, but someone that's influenced me greatly in the tech space. His name is Naval Ravikant. He says you should give. He says something about pricing your time. Basically, you should have an hourly rate you set for yourself, right? So, um, if you work for every hour of your time should have a price. For example, you could price an hour of your time maybe $100. So what are you doing? The thing you are doing right now, is it worth $100? Either now or in the future, can you convert what you're doing right now to $100? You should be asking this question. If you cannot convert it to $100, then you shouldn't be doing it. Get if what you are doing right now you won't convert to $100 in this example, you shouldn't be doing it. In that way, you help you to prioritize your time and value your time and value what you do with it. Yeah. So concerning learning, I would pour a lot of resources. People should just wait. I've been gathering a lot, sha. But you see, there was this link I sent earlier, design resources. It's been the most comprehensive list I've seen of most things you would need to start learning in design systems, blog, to platforms that create content, a lot of a lot of content, a lot of resources you would find there, from resources in text form, resources in video form. You'd find a shit ton of things there. So go there, explore, start from the beginning, look for resources that relate to what we've already talked about, and start digging in, start reading up, start watching those videos, start practicing. I dropped a link that pointed to a playlist on Figma's YouTube channel. Go there, watch those videos. They'll give you the basics of Figma. I cannot talk about all the features in Figma or how to use it well. Possible. That would take a very long time and it's waste of effort. I'll be duplicating knowledge when you can find that elsewhere on the internet. All I want to do is to provide you with fresh perspective, provide you with all the things that you should know and how to know those things and help you to get started. And over time, want to hear results of excellence that you will be performing in the space. Want to hear of your exploits. Want to hear those testimonies of how you've been able to stay consistent and achieve those goals of yours. Have a goal for joining this program. You should start preparing one. What do you want to do this program? What is your reason? Why? What do you want your KPI? KPI stands for key performance indicator. What do you want to tick from your checklist at the end of this program as what you achieved? You should have that list, and it should be something that motivates you and keep you moving, so that by the end of the program, you would feel fulfilled that you've achieved something and that you are spending your time judiciously. One should help Chinaza find those design resources somewhere on the page, on the group. Then, yes, at this point, we'll just get started with the design of the landing page. Actually, according to the guide, our curriculum, we're meant to talk about prototypes and mock-ups. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to design a landing page. The wireframe is already prepared. Then we will, from the landing page, create a prototype as well as a mock-up. Then while I create work on this, I would explain my thought process and how I approach UI design. I hope you learn a thing or two from this. And yeah, so let's get started. Give me a sec. I'm going to move a particular link to the viewing area. Just give me a moment. I'm doing that right away. If you can't hear me, please indicate in the chat box so that we would miss ourselves. I would explain my thought process and how I approach UI design. I hope you learn a thing or two from this. And yeah, so let's get started. Okay. Loading viewing area. Give me a moment. I'm doing that right away. Oh, perfect. Okay. Okay, my touchpad is moving really fast this evening, so just bear with me. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. Um, so, for example, you have a project. Most times, so I wanted to also talk about something. UI UX design is not a, a skill or it's not something that stands on its own. It's not a standalone skill or a standalone profession. We are professionals and we work with other professionals, and our goal is to create end-to-end solution. Basically, we are to create a full-blown solution that people can interact with. For example, Figma is a product. So I've been using the word product. I don't know if you've heard the word product design. Maybe you should, maybe you haven't. Well, product design basically it has different definition, but it's similar to full stack design in some respect. So, but a product is a solution. It's a solution to a problem. For example, Figma is product because it solves the problem of like creating a design, having a design tool that you can use to collaborate with other teammates and with the entire organization and allow the entire organization to have one single point where they can track, design, create, and build products and build solutions. And it was the first, I think, I'm not sure. It was one of the first, let me see, one of the first online tools for design. And it's been one of the most popular, if not the most popular design tool we have today. And to build Figma is not just design. You can see all this, the way these different text, icons, everything you see here on this control panel, everything was designed. It was designed on a platform. It was created somewhere. There was process of research. There was process of wireframing, process of brainstorming, design sprints. All these things went into this. Then the design was created. And after design was created, of course, they went through the process of the developers building out this solution. Then after the developers build the solution, the developers on their end will test their code to ensure that the code is bug free. Of course, it can never be 100% bug free, but to a large extent, it is good for production. Then on the design end, when it goes live, there's process of launching the product. You basically create publicity. Then the marketing team will go do their role where they create content, make people know about the tool. If when Figma started, there were a lot of videos on how to use basic functionalities in Figma. All those things are process professionals process. And the UI UX comes in one of the beginning stages in something called the product development cycle. Product design, UI UX design, we are the ones who start the process. Not exactly started because we still have people like product owners who have the idea or who have the initial plan or what they want to build. But we take it up from there. We do the research, we do the planning, we do the design, we compile everything and ship it to the developers. Developers take it on and move it to the next process. That is how it is. Never see your role as a designer as standalone. Often we work with developers, and developers form a very. That's why, as much as possible, um, if you can learn some little basics of design, please do. So I'm saying design of coding, please do. It will help you have empathy for your teammates, your design, your developer teammates. So that you're not going to create something that will take them a year to design, to build. Sorry. If you do that, the entire team will suffer for it. It is not just you. If you create something, if you design something that they would suffer in CSS to create, the whole thing will be slowed down because of that, and you would end up you would most times the developers will end up creating something that is far from what you wanted because you are creating unnecessary complexity. If, for example, if you see tools, platforms like Google has one of the simplest design. You can never see complex, crazy gradients, all those extra they're not really unnecessary, right? But also those extra effects, you won't find them on Google, though there are reasons for that. But that simplicity helps the developers to easily and quickly build and write the code for that design. And nothing helps an organization move forward, especially in the 21st century, more than speed. And that is why when you start working, you start having really tight deadlines. You'll be asked to deliver on a whole lot within a short period of time, because time is money, just like I said earlier. All right. So here, this is what we call wireframe. There are different levels of wireframe. Wireframe that you do with Biro and paper. Let me show you. I'm just going to search this. I didn't plan to use slides here. This class, I just want it to be as practical as paper wireframe. So when you think of paper wireframe, basically talk about you sketching out the UI, basically the layout of the. Yeah, my network is slow. Okay, these are examples of paper wireframe. This is the lowest fidelity of sketching. Basically, you're sketching out the solution. If you check here, you see they are just simple squares, circles, lines that come together to just give the idea shape. At least you know, okay, this is where the button will be. This is where the images will be. Please, as I said earlier, if at any point you are not hearing me, let me know or just drop a message. Okay, so you can see it just basically the allows designers to sketch out the solution as fast as possible. Instead of going to Figma or going to some tool, you just pick up your pen and paper and start drawing out how you want the solution to look like, the layout, the buttons, the interaction. Okay, users will click on this button, they will fill this form, they would scroll down, they will do this. Okay, they would don't need to scroll down, they will just tap on this button and this will happen. You then have to do things like labeling, where you can draw out points. Okay, this particular rectangle, this is what it does. It's abstract, but you use labeling to make sense of the shapes or the seemingly random shapes that you've created. This is the basic form of wireframing. Then after this, we have the next one, which is something that is much more neat, right? So that's wireframe you do with software tools. So those are the ones that you find a lot of plugins. You can. I said in the previous class. I think was that the previous class. I okay. I think the second class. Like we talked about the different areas of Figma. I talked about the Figma community. Basically, you can find plugins there. Plugins basically are is a feature of a lot of tools actually online that allows you to bring in allow third parties to build extra features and functionality into the software, into the already existing tool. So for example, in Figma, let me show you. You click on this particular, just track where my is, scroll down, see plugins. This is that list of all the plugins I have here. They all perform different functions. For example, if I want to add an image to this rectangle, so I've selected it. I would go here, go to the plugin, scroll down to, I have this, okay, yeah, Unsplash. Unsplash is an open source platform where you find free images. I'm going to click on it. I just clicked, it's going to load. And my network is a bit slow, it might take a while, or maybe it won't even load. Okay, let me try it again. And just give me a moment. Let me try it again. It's supposed to appear right now. My internet is misbehaving at the moment. Okay, sorry about that. Let me try it again. Okay, I think we just have to leave it for now and continue with the class. Okay, just give me a moment. I want to just make sure that all is well. That all is well. Just give me a moment. All right. So I want to really show you how this plugin works. Let me try it one more time. Try it one more time. Hopefully it appears this time. Okay, still not working. That's that's another thing you should look out for. If you have poor network, it could be a reason why you click on a plugin and it's not working. Another way to solve it is to uninstall the plugin. How you uninstall plugins? I'm not going to uninstall mine because it's most likely going to be because of network. You can go to okay. I would have to leave this file to show you this. Let me just quickly show you how that's done. You can come here, go to profile, plugins. Give me a moment. Let this load. Okay, you know what? I'll just paste this right away. Let's get to the exact place where we were. My network's a bit slow, but I just really wanted us to have a feel for that. Okay. So I'm saying I believe it's network. 742 message was just okay. Please, seven. Who can you guys hear me? I beg you. It's lagging. Okay, so you didn't see the process of installing. I can go there again. Okay, okay, we are hearing you. Thank you very much. Okay, let me just get back there. It's ready. Alright, so this is on the spectrum of wireframe. This is a high fidelity wireframe, if you can call it that way. Basically, it's a wireframe that is closest to the actual design because it has text. It has meaningful text. It's not some random text. It has the buttons also have text. There's a lot of form. It has the design's already taking form. Just that it doesn't have colors. It doesn't have images. And yeah, basically just colors and images, and that's what's missing. And you can see what it looks like. Yeah, let's recreate this. I'll duplicate this right now. Alt. Well, I'm pressing Alt to duplicate. Alt, then click. You press Alt, and while your hand is on Alt, you press your left click, then drag to duplicate. We're going to be editing this to create this design. So we'll keep this logo here. Maybe we'll change this to home. Now, yeah. Before we go into the main design, let's do something very important. This is very important. We have to establish the colors we are going to be using for this design. So we'll set out three colors. Just decide on the type face we'll be using. Let's turn this to, in case you are wondering why this particular page is having a black background. If you look at this point, give me a second, just want to make sure that everyone is following. Let me check the group. Okay, thank you for the explanation. You press Alt, you click on what you want to copy and you want to duplicate. For example, you want to duplicate this particular thing. You click on it. When you see this blue line appear around it, you press Alt on your system. You can see there's another extra pointer on the black pointer. Let me zoom in so you see it. Sorry about that. So you click, you see there's another extra pointer on the pointer. So you now drag, then you duplicate it. What you could also do is to copy Control D, duplicate as well, and duplicate as many as possible as you want of anything actually, but you have to select it before you duplicate. Okay. All right, I'm not going to answer any more questions. I'll just go ahead to continue this design so that we'll not waste any more time. All right, so we have, we're going to decide on two things. We're going to decide on the color we're going to use. We'll decide on the typeface we are going to use. It's called typeface, not font. Font is like Roboto Medium is called font, but typeface is Roboto itself. And we want to decide on the typeface, which is, are we using Roboto, are we using any other font? Of course, we have a lot of fonts. Typeface, sorry. Okay, so we decide on typeface, then we'll do something around the layout. I would show you that. It's not exactly something we'd have to write down. It's a setting in, it's a setting in, but I'll just put it down here so that we'll know that we need to do it. Guide. So yeah, let's see. What colors are we going to use? I want this to be as simple as possible, but I also want it to pop. And I want it to be vibrant. But before we go into this, let's decide on what we are actually designing. So let's say we are going to design a fashion brand. We can design a fashion brand or a SaaS. Okay, I'm thinking an education platform, but something that is around, allows people to learn on their own without much guidance. So that is where this particular layout will come from. I would probably get something to put in here just to save time. Well, let's define them. So let's just define them. It's good you do this so that you know what you're doing, not that you start figuring things out while you started designing. So we're going to design an educational platform, but something that is around, allows people to landing page on their own without much guidance. So that is where this particular platform, this is the education platform landing page. So the platform will allow, okay, we just add something more like software. I just leave it like this. Just complicate things. Okay, we're going to do a little bit more research. I want us to just see how this works. So what are the education platforms that we have out there? We have platforms like Udacity. I'm doing this for a reason. I want you, when you do this, normally what you're looking out for, you want to see what is related to that thing you're building. We are building something on the education platform. We want to see what is happening. So they are using the color blue. Here we're seeing the combination of blue and purple. Let's check another one. Let's save share. Let's see the kind of colors they use just to have. For a reason, when you do this, normally what you're looking out for, you want to see what is related to that thing you're building. We are building something on the education platform. We want to see what is happening. So they are using the color blue. Here we're seeing the combination of blue and purple. Let's check another one. Let's save share. Let's see the kind of colors they use just to have. um green, I would say. Okay, so let's see. We would go with Coursera shade of blue, something more vibrant, right? We'll just increase the saturation. That would pop. Something like this. This is a bit too hard. So I would just lighten it up. Remember, it is on a white dark background, that's why it looks like this. So I'm going to just put something brighter here. Okay, so that we would see it clearly the way it would most likely appear on our own screen. And okay, we have blue. I want to adjust the shade of this blue a little bit. I just want something that will pop but will not be too bright at the same time. Okay, I'm thinking I'm comfortable with this a little. Okay, this is okay. Then this will be our primary color, of course. Okay, I'm going to group these two. There's something called auto layout. I just selected the three squares, three shapes. Then I'm going to press Shift and Alt, and I'll create this. Basically, they've been joined together. Then when I do that, I'm going to create space in between them, and I'm going to give more space to this. Just bear with me. You would understand what I'm doing shortly. This and let's do this. I just want to show you, okay, that this one is going to take a more primary color. Okay, so we have this. Then the second, the color, of course, we'll be using neutral. Let's establish a little bit of neutral color here. Okay, then for this, what color should we use as secondary color? Let's see what this color looks like. So there is this. Okay, we'll show you. Let's try this one out. Okay, if it doesn't work, we'll try something else. Let me put it on here. Then you can just adjust this. I don't know. I don't want it to be as saturated as the blue. That it will not be. Give me a second. I'm trying to check the charts for. Yeah, don't follow into this class. Follow to this class. Oh. Then just adjust this. I don't know. I don't want. If you close, you can also join the class on YouTube. Please do that. Okay, so let's see. Okay, just explore dark colors a little bit. I think I'm okay with this. This looks nice. Yeah, Amaka just dropped link to the YouTube video, the YouTube channel. Subscribe, like, and enjoy. Join us. Let's build something together. You know what? Would remove. This is supposed to be text color. I'm going to leave it. I'm going to leave this as text color. This is going to be our text color, like color we'll be using for our text. This will be primary color. Let me duplicate this here and make the size smaller just so that you would see it. And subscribe, enjoy. Join us. Let's build something together. Okay. You know what? Would remove. This is supposed to be text color. I'm going to leave it. I'm going to leave this as text color. This is going to be our text color, like color we'll be using. I think this will waste our time, so I'll just keep it like this. This is our primary. This is our primary color. The blue is our primary color. Then we use this as secondary color. This will be more of accent, but it will be used as text color. The text color will not be exactly absolute black. It will be a shade of black. Let's see what does this look like. Okay, what is this? All right, then let's start applying this. Okay, secondly, we need to consider typography. So this is not exactly some. We'll be using something simple here, and let's see. Let's try. Let's see what's railway. Railway is a font. One of my bed. Let's see what it looks like. Did it work here? Okay, this is railway. Okay. Then I'm thinking we use Poppins because Poppins is a very big typeface. It's bold. We can pair it with let's just stick to something simple. Open Sans work with body text. So this will be our H1. Like we'll use this for headings. I will duplicate this. So this will be used for headings. Typeface will be used for headings. This Poppins. Poppins will be used for headings. Then this will be used for body text. To understand these things as we go on. Okay, this is body. Just going to reduce the size so that it will not be visual hierarchy. Give me a moment, let me adjust this. Okay, this is not meant to look like this. I didn't want to use a template. Let's just do this as raw as possible. So I will just follow in with the process. So we'll be using this with block of text like belong body text. But for things like heading, we'll use Poppins. This is Poppins. The name of this typeface is Poppins. The name of this is Open Sans. They have their varying weights. They have a lot of options for a lot of fonts in them. The typeface has a lot of fonts. So yeah. Then for layout, we've established the color we'd use. We've decided the platform we want to design, create. Then we've also for layout, we are going to see how you work on layout. You select the frame. This is a desktop frame. Adjust frame. You come here, go to this place where I clicked here. If you just track my mouse, click on this frame, you get to choose different frames depending on what you're designing. If you're designing phones, you pick from here. Or maybe we'll talk more about decisions that should go into deciding what frame to choose. But we're going to design for desktop, which is the 1440 by 1024. Okay, that's what we are using currently. We have the Mac 16-inch and Mac 14-inch. If you're designing for UI UX design is not just for mobile apps and web apps. We are creating digital experiences. So we also create digital experiences for TVs, for watches, for all sorts. With this, currently we are having more explosion in something called IoTs, which is Internet of Things. So we're having more gadgets, more tools that are connected to the internet and that need some sort of digital interface to interact with. And those interfaces are created by designers. You can see we have Apple Watch here. We don't have TV here, but we have something called presentation down somewhere here. It should be here. As you can see, the header for social media pages. Yes, see slides here if you're working on slides. I'm going to continue at full speed right now. My battery is a bit low, so that we can finish up before it goes off. Okay. So we'll leave this straight here. So let's see, here will be home. Okay, let's have features. Because this is already home. Users are already, most times if users want to move around pages, they would use the logo to click around pages. So having a home button is not exactly important. A sec. We'll leave this straight here. I'm going to deactivate this a little bit. Okay, let's have features. Because this is already home. Users are already, most times if users want to move around pages, Why is this not working? Okay. Okay. Just want to remove the components. So making things a little bit annoying. Then I mentioned something called layout. So layout basically we want to define particularly the margin. What will be the distance between this within the edge of the screen and where content starts from. So this point is the margin. Then we want to define it on both sides. We do not just put lines anywhere. How I created this line is that I use Control Shift R. When you press Shift and R, the ruler would appear, or you can come here, go to View, then you see ruler here. Activate that. Then you click on Frame. Click on Frame. Then you go to, you see this layout grid. Click plus. This appears. You move it from grid to column. Then move it to, I'll use 12 because there's something in programming front end web development. I think that should be HTML, CSS called the 12 grids in CSS. Sorry. So basically it will divide the screen into 12 equal sizes. So I would reserve the last lines, so something like this, putting my ruler around here. I'm zooming so that I get the line correctly. Zoom in a little bit. Okay. I want the line to be here. Then I would do the same for this. I want the line to be here. I would ensure, the goal is to ensure that content does not go be outside of this place as much as possible. You know what? I think it's okay. Let's just leave it here. It's okay here. Content would not go outside this line that we've created. To keep it consistent throughout the entire page. Okay. So let's get to this. I'm going to just group this with auto layout. I always prefer using auto layouts because it keeps things organized a lot. You can learn more about auto layout, just Google it online. Okay, let's move this to 40. 40. I'll have to push this so that the logo can come in. Okay. Here we would have features. We'll have pricing. We would have about us. Now about us, we can have the team there. Then contact. Some basic nav bar, nothing special, nothing extra, simple stuff. Then here would have, of course, content should not, under any circumstances, exceed this ruler that we've created. We'll just push this inside. Should we leave this help? Is it important? We'll just remove it. Let's just keep it simple. So personally, I'd love to keep the same button size. So I'm going to do this. I will duplicate. Let me remove this component. I'm making my life easy right now. Then here will be login. Just push this inside. Should we leave this important? And push this down. I want to remove. Give me a moment. Let me remove this. Okay, this is supposed to be gone. Then I'm going to keep with this. I'm going to change the color of everything now, but for now we're going to have it this way. For you have to ensure that there's consistency in your design. If you notice this particular radius, the first button has a radius. Let me show you. The radius is 5. This one does not have a radius and it's not supposed to be. So both of them have to have the same thing. So consistency. And your design should be consistent across board. You shouldn't have different radius. If this one is 5, the other one is 10. Even beyond the buttons must be consistent. especially buttons. You don't create a button that, okay, for sign up and login and sign up, you are having something like this. Then maybe some other button you now put 20. It will now be looking like this. It's wrong. You don't have two different types of button in your design unless you are building some sort of complex system and maybe these are two different products. Even at that, you don't do it. Keep your buttons the same, let them look the same so that users would not think that they are using different platforms, whereby it is the same thing, just that the designer chose to be Oga Creative. So, for the buttons, let's pick from the secondary color. We'll pick the secondary color for button. Let's see what it will look like. Oh, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. It's too dull. We want buttons to pop. We want people to be able to find them easily. So we don't use dull colors for your buttons. Use bright colors, colors that would make them easy to find. So this place too would deactivate this. Detach. Then would use the same color. I just clicked I to create this, find this particular thing that you are seeing that formed this circle up. I'm clicking on this. I want to take the color from there. It's not appearing because this particular button is in a frame. You would then go and find meaning of frame. We can't teach everything right now. But as much as possible, just follow us. Okay, I'm going to do something to correct this. Use the same color. All right. We now have that there. I'm going to reduce the opacity of this gradient, this is our guide, so that will not be a problem, but I still want it to be there. Okay, I'm thinking the nav bar is too small, so I'm going to make it bigger. Let me show what I mean. So I'm going to click and drag. Okay, drag it a little bit. I'm going to reduce the opacity of this gradient to take up more space. Okay, then I do not want the background to be pure black, so I'm going to change the color of the background just a little bit to create a sort of contrast. It's this. Okay, I want to align the center. I'm going to make this file accessible and available to everyone when we're done with the class, so that we can always find it and go through it. So yes, what is our value proposition? What are we solving? We are a okay, let's see. This is not going to really make sense, but let's just have something. Global education. So it shouldn't be like that. What is our value proposition? What are we solving? Have something there. There's something called UX writing. Basically, the kind of text that goes into all these places has to be meaningful. I'm going to keep this at lorem ipsum so that we can move fast. Or as much as possible, avoid lorem ipsum, please. Then I'm going to use an image here. I'm going to try that plugin again. Hopefully it works. If it doesn't work, we'll find another way to get images immediately. It's supposed to appear now. Oh, yes, this is what the plugin looks like. I'm going to search education. Let's try that plugin again. Hopefully it works. If it doesn't work, we'll find another way to get images. Can you guys hear me? Please, I want feedback so that I will know if I should work on my network or not. It's too enlarged. It's cutting out of the. Oh. Okay. Sorry. I would work on that. Okay. So let's see. What kind of image are we going to pick for this? Okay, we can hear you. Okay. Thank you very much. Okay. Education platform. Depends on the kind of education platform. Let's say we are providing um more formal education. So I'm picking this image of students graduating. It's going to wait. Why it's behaving like this? Basically, transferring this image to this shape. If you notice, I selected a shape. Okay. Yeah, this is what education platform to look like. So because this is sorry about this. Okay, so I'm going to drop down the color. I'm basically adding a layer on top. If you check what I did here, I clicked on this plus to add another layer. We now have a black layer on it, a dark layer on it. Then I'm adding color to it. I'm making it dark. Use this. Okay. Drop down the color. I'm basically adding a layer on top. If you check what I did here. Okay, you know what we'll do? We'd have to remove this image because at the end of the day, would not work well with this. Okay, so we are just having some little trial and error here and there just to ensure that we get it correctly. I'm just going to remove this image then, and we'll try something else. But give me a second, get something that I would use for this part of it. Just give me a second, get something for it now. Right, so just trying to get something that we can use for a particular point. Okay, what was this design we had earlier in the team? I'm just going to bring it in so that will just speed up the process. Okay. So I'm out of time here, so I might not be able to finish this design, but I'll try and get the image, the one I'm talking about. Just give me a moment. I'm kind of having network issue this evening, so that's why things are a bit slow. So sorry about that. I'm just taking more time than necessary. Sorry. Okay, you know what we'll do? I just don't want to waste our time. So let's say we have this. We already have this as title. I would include an image. I will send this design later today. I might not be able to finish it right now on the call. Then we'll go over to have more features. So here, so there's structure. When you're working on landing page, give me a sec, please. Landing page are designed to convert. Yeah, the first page that visitors go to. I would include an image. I will send this design later today. I might not be able to. Landing page is the first page, like it's the home page, right? The first page that visitors user would most likely enter your platform from. Maybe they are more features, so searching for platforms that are related to what the platform that you are creating is about. So Google would recommend or send them straight to maybe either your landing page or maybe maybe there's an advert already placed, funneling people to that landing page, however it is. Though people can enter your platform from different places. They could enter from, for example, maybe the pricing, or they could find, it could be the about section that they enter the platform from, but they want to go into the home section, to the landing page, to know what the platform is about. They can click on this logo, which will take them to the landing page. So what the landing page does is to tell the viewer, the user, what this platform is all about. So you have to it's a storytelling process. You're trying to tell a story or to build reputation and inform. At the end of the time, users scroll through from the beginning to the end, they should have a feel for what this platform is all about and what they are trying to do. So the hero section, first, the image and the text here must be purposeful. You don't just use random images. This is just an example. I wanted this to be as I'm sorry about this. We're not going to be able to finish this because of time. So you want to make sure that the images you are using are is relating. For example, this is going to be an education related platform. So the image must be something that looks similar to what the platform is doing. Of course, remember what I said earlier, high quality image, but you have to optimize those images, optimize them for the development so that developers will not upload those high quality, heavy, large sized image, and users will be spending 10, 20 MB downloading just one image. And if it's going to be a video and you the business or whatever you're working on outside without and still maintain that 720 as much as possible, you should do that for your images and videos. Even illustrations normally are not big, so you don't really have a problem with illustrations. And your heading should be tell exactly what you're doing. For example, I would probably just visit a few websites later when we are so much you'll be able to know what the platform is about just from the first heading, right? Then it's also not good to just use something like this, get started. Get started in what? So that's where the UX part comes in design. And okay, I'm going to be pushing a lot of things right now, but just try sometimes to take notes. I'll take notes of all these things. It's part of the things that tools to have used to optimize. Maybe you I'll send it again. Okay. All right. So this text here, let me zoom in. This text, this get started text, it's called a CTA. It's called a call to action. You want the user to take action. It is the primary button on the website on the landing page. It is the button that you'll find in the hero section. A hero section is give me a sec. This thing is just been misbehaving this evening. I don't know why. So this part I just selected is called the hero section. It's like when you open the website, that first thing that's on your face is the hero section. Then the entire website is the landing page. So on the hero section would most likely have one or two buttons, but there will be one major button. For example, if it's going to be two buttons, it will be something like this. You don't use the same color shape for if you are going to be using two buttons. You can't have a button that looks like this. It's wrong. You'll be confusing users. Which one do you want them to click on? If you are going to be having two buttons on the hero section, you do something like this. If you notice what I did here, one button is filled, one is stroke. One, the entire background is filled with color. But then here it is just an outline, right? So you do the same thing here if you are going to be having two buttons. Maybe one is for users to learn more, and the other one is for them to take action. Maybe you want them to register for a current program that is being that copy. Instead of having get started, maybe just like top skill, we are creating a boot camp to teach people on the foundations of design. So we'll say okay, register. You can have them like register would work because it makes sense because it means that users are supposed to register something. It's not, we can even make it more useful, more meaningful, like maybe register course. because in this case it's not really a bootcamp, it's more like a course. So you are trying to register for course, so register course. So when they see this, they know that they click this button, they are going to register course. But using things like get started is not, it doesn't inform users, it doesn't tell them what they can perform with the button. There is a book on design called Design of Everyday Things that talks about signifiers and basically talking about things, how we human beings perceive objects around us and things around us. A a door handle communicates that it can be turned, can be pushed or pulled. So when you see a door handle, you immediately know that okay, I most likely can push it and open this door or pull it myself. Then, if you see a bottle, those circular spiral ends on the cover of a bottle signifies that when you see it, you know that you can screw the cover against that bottle and it will close. So these are signifiers. I would probably have a class with everyone on signifiers and affordance. It's a concept in design, and we use it every day. Create beautiful and ensure that our design is easy for users to interact with. So when you use register, people know what they can do. They know what this button is for. And when they are clicking on it, they know what they can do. Then I also wanted to mention that when you are creating things like login and sign up, you don't say login and sign in. Okay. Now we have login here. Let me take this out. So put it here. Then I'm put a little background around this. Okay. So you don't say login. You don't say sign up, sign in. Sorry, sign in. You don't say sign up, sign in. Sorry, sign in. You don't assume that your users are knowledgeable. You take them as if they do not know anything. You make it as easy as possible for them because most times people do not really put their mind into what they are doing. They just want to get what they want. So they rely on something called the mental model, what they are used to seeing. And so you don't use this. Instead, use login. In fact, the word itself looks different. So putting in my details to access the platform. Then sign up. You are creating an account for the first time. If you want to make it even more easier, register instead of sign up. Or most times you use register when the process of creating an account is much more longer. Maybe they are going to pass through some series of stages. They'll be uploading of documents. It's much more of a process. So use register. But otherwise, sign up would work fine. Okay. Alternatively, to sign up and log in, you can have. Okay, we probably will do that next. I'll share resources to more of these things, but you do not use the same just to ensure that users don't get confused as to. Um, so it's also something called. I also wanted to talk about that. We have sign up, sign out, sign out, and we also have log out. Log, log out. Okay. So, for example, you would have to pick what you want to use, but you have to make sure it is consistent with what you've used here as well. Okay, then let's continue. So, for images, we've said that it has to be quality images. Then, it's also advisable for these things like features. You include a drop down menu. Basically, you make it possible for when users hover over features, they should be able to learn more about what features contains. So like it should show the different features that they can perform. They shouldn't have to go to a different page for it. It's just extra work. It will consume more. It's more time waste spent. It's more data consumed to load a different page before they understand. They have more details about the features of your platform. So just A hover would most likely work better. At least you have a hover, you list the features that your platform has, then maybe a little bit of maybe a heading and a little bit of detail and a clean, neat icon to illustrate each of those features would work best. Then so yes, so the landing page is supposed to communicate the value proposition of the platform, and you would use the next section after the hero section to communicate that value. So here from this section to this section and this section, you are basically highlighting different values. For example, if the platform is supposed to provide these educational services to different types of users, of course you need to do your research. Maybe it's also tailored towards students, like a formal education, and it's also tailored towards students who are studying at home, who don't have experience with classroom education. Then you can use this section, maybe this particular point section, you talk about the benefit of the platform for students who are used to a traditional education. The next one, I talk about the benefit of the platform to people who are homeschooled. Then if you have some very, maybe the platform is using something very unique value, there's something called unique value proposition. Basically, what is the unique selling point of the platform or the business? Maybe the business is unique in the sense that the issue, um, they have the best tutors from the around the world. Like their tutors are basically the best from different schools, Harvard, get. So you can use that, could be a very, very powerful selling point. You can include that in another section stating how the business, this particular platform has so and so. You basically you want to highlight the strongest and most compelling um, values and benefits the platform will provide. It is not about you, it is about your users. You want to tell your users how they will be able to benefit. What do they stand to gain? How is this going to platform? We are just trying to communicate all these things. You are pitching to your users and you have very few seconds to do that basically, because most time people just go in, they scroll down. If they can't find what they want, they get out. So you have few time to ensure that everything is correct. The text you are using is easy, understandable, and straight to the point, as well as everything else, the different design components. Then somewhere like this, for example, the business of the school, the online school has a blogging unit. Maybe they create blog posts. Then here you could just highlight the from maybe school they recently graduated is set from just finished graduating is set from the school. So you could have a section here. If you have the image of students who graduated, the text here, you read more for people to get to maybe a page where they have more details about that. Basically, everything is to sell the platform. You would find this a lot on platforms where we have something called trusted, maybe some depends. Here it is trusted by the world's best companies. So it is its own advertisement, right? When you, for example, in this particular case, it's an education platform. Maybe you graduated students from your platform, and your students end up working in platforms in places like Google, Microsoft. You include that here. It's its own selling point. You want to tell people who have visited your website that you guys have trained people who are working in the best companies in the world. So it is called it's called yeah, it's this, as well as you could also, instead of having this, you could have this as well as include testimonials. So testimonials also go to the landing page. So testimonials basically feedback from, in this case, to them, scale up their skill, they are able to how the platform help them to basically the people who have benefited from the platform, what they've learned, right? So that's what you have. You can also have that together with this, and in some cases you see that either the product of the business or the business work with these companies. You could have it at the top here, probably have it somewhere here, or depends if the layout of the design is left or right. You put it on either side. Um, then you notice pricing comes towards the end. You need to tell people how the platform is going to be beneficial to them before you tell them how much it will cost, right? So after you've told them how they will get to benefit from the platform, then you go ahead to talk about the price, how much will it cost. Then in a little bit on pricing, you want to ensure that you create a plan that is free. And in that free plan, it has enough enough features allowed. Enough features are in the free plan that people can derive value from. They can use the free plan to actually solve a problem. Don't put everything under the paid and the premium, because at that point you'll be saying that if people do not pay, they cannot use your platform, which is not good business. Then and it's also not good UX. So also we have this. Maybe you want people to try it out. So you have this a lot. Start a free trial. Then of course the footer. You could check platforms and see how footers are created. We're going to stop here. I will send in the design to this when I will complete it after this call and send it in so that we can see how this would look like. All right. We were not able to create the prototype and mock-up, and I'm really sorry about that. Time really went fast, but I hope you learned a thing or two about creating designs. Um, I would send in for the prototyped design, so you'll be able to interact with it when I send it. Then, as well as mock-up. Then, in our next class, I would show you the remaining part of the design. Then we'll pick on some details, talk about it. Then I'll talk about the importance of mock-ups as well. And because your design is useless if you can't present it well. If you don't present your design properly, it will not. You will not get the desired results, because people do not know the process you went into it. But the final result is what they care about. So you have to present it well. So both in depending on how the presentation is going to work, but mock-ups is a way of presenting your work, your final work to users. All right, we're going to stop here for today. I'm going back to the chat to look out for your questions. Have any questions, please drop them. Yes, I mentioned a book called Design of Everyday Things by Don Norman. Oh yeah, I have the book. Of course, I'll probably send it to you. Sorry about the zooming out and zooming today. Would not happen again. Sorry about that. Then ask your questions. I would answer them on the stream. Some of them on the stream. Then the rest will be answered. How do you add plugins? You go to that community, the community on Figma. When you get to the community, I'll just show you a bit if I can. Then you would go down. When you click on a plugin, you'll see an option to install. You click on install and it automatically installs. It's not something that would go to your main laptop and go through some long process. No, it's not like that. Yes, I will definitely share the landing page. Any other question? This is not an assignment. Would don't worry. I'll just get ready. The assignments will come, but not now. That's why I spent a lot of time talking about how to learn, how to practice. I want it to be that when we start having assignments, you would have enough knowledge to do well. This is not an assignment. So I'm going to design this and I'll send it. It is not an assignment. Oh. It's not an assignment. I'm going to design this and I'll send it. It is not an assignment. Oh.
Hello, Samuel. Can you hear me? We can't hear you any longer. Please, can you check your mic, please? Hello, Samuel. Can you hear me? We can't hear you any longer. Please, can you check your mic, please? Hello, Samuel. Can you hear me? We can't hear you any longer. Please, can you check your mic, please? Okay, good evening, everybody. Thank you for staying to the end of this class. Yeah, so our next class is going to be on Friday. So please just calm down, just be patient. Slide is going to be available later today, so we're going to drop it. And if you have any questions, just drop your questions, and all your questions will be attended to. And for those that are late that could not join, please the link, check the pin messages, and link is available so you could go through it and watch. So at your own spare time, please go through all the videos and watch again because very soon you'll be working on projects and assignment. Thank you very much. Have a good night. See you on Friday. Good night. All the videos and watch again because very soon you'll be working on projects and assignment. Thank you very much. Have a good night. See you on Friday. Good night. All the videos and watch again because very soon you'll be working on projects and assignment. Thank you very much. Have a good night. See you on Friday. Good night.